La 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 la, da na na, damo, da na shaya. Hello, regular talking voice. Hello, this is Wolfpack coming to you from super kiki funland in Southern California, America. And I feel really called to just share my voice right now and more often on this Patreon. I'm trying to ease into it, I gotta say. Despite being a performer, I feel that the voice is still emerging. I've been kind of hiding a little bit, kind of just preparing work, preparing releases, like working on music, taking a break from live shows. It's been good. I've been resetting my soul. But I do feel called to share my voice, to share where I'm at with my people. That's the whole reason I started this Patreon. It's really inspired by Simka, our beautiful medicine sister from my tribe. And yeah, I need to feel free to share my voice. It's essential. This is what we do as artists. So if you'd like to be here with me, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to share what I'm thinking about, what I'm working on. And I'm just going to be. For me, this has been a cathartic experience to do. I've been sharing in dream weaving circles and been taking this really beautiful embodiment business course with some soul sisters. And the sharing of the voice, I find myself playing back my own share as if it's like a soothing mechanism. I think coming out of CPTSD, which is honestly what I've been doing in here hiding, I've been recovering from that gnarly condition, which almost took my life and which has taken many lives. It feels incurable. It is not. It is very curable. I'm actually going to be dropping an article on Thursday the 14th, about that. It's called How to Heal Trauma. And the fact is, trauma is completely healable. Shamans for thousands of years have known that. And it goes into depth about the process, and it's not a hard process. It's a process anyone can do on their own or with a guide. With a guide is a little easier and usually more successful. So yeah, that'll be coming out on the 14th, which is it's a spell to break a curse. That day is the birthday of my abuser, who was a narcissist I grew up with, who performed despicable deeds to my body and soul, who it was born on that day that this article comes out. And to me, it's a big light code toward breaking the curse of that abuse and really fully stepping into my sovereignty, because that's what trauma healing is all about, is shedding the fetters or bonds or constraints that others have placed on our soul, or freak accidents have placed on our soul, or something placed a bond on our soul that told it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe to be you. It wasn't safe to express fully. And this is everything about the work I'm doing. In this business course, we're really diving deep into our mission statements of our work. And I am proclaiming the mission and owning the mission of liberating each being into their full sovereign self-expression. I used the word liberate, and the AI didn't like that. It thought it was dominating or telling people that they need freed or something. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a healer. I'm a strong, powerful healer. I'm a strong stance human, and if they don't like my languaging, they can find the human that works for them. But I know that my powerful way of resonating in ceremony with others is effective for many people because they've told me. And I'm going to stand in that, and this time for me is a period of coming into that sovereignty and holding that power so that I may be a force for others. So that felt good to say. And so to that note, I'm going to claim the word shaman. I'm going to claim it here and now. I've been calling myself a technoshaman, which to me doesn't, I love techno, but it doesn't mean, it's not so literal. It doesn't mean I only create techno. I create tribal dance rhythms. And I drum. It's not all about the house music or anything. It's about a future type of shamanism. It's about lifting into the techno future shaman healer portal that we see at raves and at Burning Man. It's about this like merging the ancient with the future. It's about the being in the contemporary pulse of the artistic moment and reaching back to past traditions to inspire and unlock freedom for others. That's why I claim the word techno-shaman. And when I claim shaman, people get a little riffled. There's a little bit of in the mainstream narrative, there's a little bit of a shoulder riffle of, they say, cultural appropriation when you use the word shaman. And I just right here, right now, I'm someone that rejects that notion. And I'm going to tell you why. The word shaman originated in Russia with the indigenous tribes there. And it's something that has been used by all cultures. All cultures throughout time have had a mixture of priest / I don't want to say priest because that kind of denotes a religious term. One who talks to the spirit realm. One who talks to the spirit realm finds out information and comes back to heal the tribe. Great Spirit has been guiding me on a shamanic journey of awakening and initiation, all on her own, so I claim the lineage of Celtic shaman. My people are Celtic. My people were witches. They had a shamanic class of people who would work in the tribe, or a lot of times a single being. And I'm talking ancient. I'm not talking anything that's in the history books. This is like, all people have done this shit. Everyone has drummed around the fire. I remember one time seeing a documentary that blew my mind. It was actually about the indigenous English. Like, it was about the first folk people of that land. And that's my land. My people are English, Celtic, and Nordic. And it blew my mind. They were in grass skirts. They were drumming around the fire. They were my people. And I was like, oh, there's a mainstream narrative going on around whiteness that has claimed whiteness as this, like, deleted race, right? Like, it's like, okay, because our people ended up dominating other cultures and we now are just this blank people. The narrative almost makes it sound like we came to life in the 1800s as colonialists and had no history before that. So the narrative of whiteness actually serves a darker purpose towards separation. And this is as far as I see it, toward further separating people, whereas we're all unified, right? Like, we're one earth family. That's what we're trying to get back to. That's the work, I assume, one of the major goals of many spiritual beings on this planet is to realize we're one earth family. I realize that can feel uncomfortable for people who are rooted in tribal tradition, and that's legit. And I get that. I get that being dominated and controlled by my people, and I will claim that. Not the people I would have sided with, right? But the people that looked like me, the people that colonized the land I grew up on, people that came over in the Mayflower that were in my family, the abusers, the toxic men, the toxic women, the whatever. That's one side of my people, right? And the other side that I feel deep in my soul and that spirit speaks me through in a lineage is my Celtic witches, my Celtic witch druids, my Celtic shamans, my ancient magicians. The word shaman, I'm using it to mean ancient magician, like one who speaks with spirit to heal the tribe. And that is what I do. And that is what a lot of my contemporaries do. So I say, claim the word. And we don't have to, I'm not going to downplay myself because of my skin color as a white person and say that I'm just this blank thing called white, right? That would be offensive just as it would be for any other color. I'm Celtic. I'm Nordic. I've had people like wake me up at festivals. Like some guy at Burning Man grabbed me by the shoulders and looked me in the eyes and says, "Sister, you're a Nordic witch." And I'm like, whoa, like that was like, like he didn't know me. He came out of the crowd. and did these experiences, these synchronicities like line up, and I'm like, there's something way deeper going on here, and I'm going to remember it. I'm not going to hide behind the veil of the modern narrative of white, black, red, brown, good, bad, all these like this duality culture. And I'm going to remember that all people were shamans. All people were tribal. All people gathered around the fire wearing grass skirts and playing drums. That's what I'm fucking talking about, and that's what I'm going back to. And hearing the people I respect tell it, such as Terence McKenna, he's a huge influence on me. That's a Celtic bard, shaman kind of human. He doesn't claim shaman, he claims shamanic researcher. I think he did less performing ceremony and more researching about it. I got some frequency music on here. Let's see, what is it called? We got solfeggio frequency 417 hertz, remove negative influences and emotion music. I always wonder with these tracks if they're really working in 417. Like, are they going to that hertz and amplifying that one? Because they say that, but like what you actually do in music is utilize the entire frequency spectrum. So I'm not totally sure what they mean, unless that's hopefully 417 is the root note and they're actually saying that. Otherwise, they're just saying numbers, and I guess that's okay too. So yeah, we're talking about claiming the term shaman. So if I meditate and I go deep inside and I ask Great Spirit, and I've done this for years. My awakening started when I moved to Portland in 2013. I had left New York a total wreck in the nervous system. Like, I did awesome in New York. I graduated NYU with honors. I started a business on 27th Street doing stop motion animation and directing music videos. We had representation by an agent. I was literally asked to like be more represented as a director. Like, I was going to get a big not promotion because you work for yourself, but like a big representation opportunity. Like, I could be a commercial director and direct big commercials. And that is when my soul said no. And that is when I left that career behind. And my soul was like, you can't do this world. This world is toxic. This world is draining your very life out of your body. You are 1,000% not meant to direct advertising, which is a form of control and manipulation. Of course, there's also like promotion. Like, I don't think self-promotion is necessarily bad. I've had to unfold that one a while. That had me stuck after working in the toxic advertising field. But being a commercial director, like, I remember saying, if I take this job, will I have to go to one more martini meeting with that asshole? Referring to one of the people I was working with. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't put my soul aside for money, basically. I know many of us have come to that point. It's a common point to come to spiritually. And that's when I came to it. So I ran to Portland in 2013 and I started asking deeper questions of my soul. I started going to Burning Man. That's where I got my name. I started being involved with spiritual community and witchy community, and I started really going deep in and asking and talking to God, talking to Great Spirit directly and asking, what am I doing here? What's my role? And she was like, you are an artist and you are a shaman. And she has used that word since that day. And that's why I claim the term. It's my lived experience. What do I do? Inevitably, and this isn't like tooting my own horn. This is like standing in my power, standing in my soul's mission. What do? I resonate people to have spiritual and healing releases in order to fully step into themselves. That's what a shaman does. If someone's blocked with a dark trauma or a difficult feeling, like, our job is to, at ceremony or in other circumstances, I do it through drumming and chanting, resonate the stuck energy and move it out. It's a very trippy, psychedelic realm. I'll go into this in greater detail because I do want to share the working practice of my trance. But this is like out of the blue. Like, this is when spirit really gives you your mission. When you're just like an advertising director in New York and you have no spiritual leanings whatsoever, and you're just like kind of like shut off to the whole thing. And I just experienced a wake up. Like, I remember my awakening. I was crossing the street in Brooklyn eating a bagel with my partner Jason at the time, and he was a very spiritual guy. He was raised on like a hippie commune. And I woke the fuck up. I was on the crosswalk. I crossed the street in Brooklyn, and I woke up, and Spirit's like, "You're a shaman." Like, I swear to, maybe she didn't say that like straight off the bat, but it was like it was literally like coming online in my soul. Like, I just came online all of a sudden, and it doesn't mean I'm enlightened. It meant that I like started my path, right? And then my spiritual path started, and since then I have been called to help others heal. And it's been more healing myself and going on the inward journey first, which I think is what is required. And I'm just coming into the point now where I want to be offering that more. A short background, me and my people, I call them Medicine Tribe. We have been on the road together in all different weavings and configurations for years. I've been on the road for about 8 years, on and off. And road family is really like where my soul lives, like rainbow family, road family. Those are our people, and it's really interesting to describe to those who haven't been involved in it and haven't been there. The difference, it's like a 180 flip of lifestyle, and we're living in the woods. We're living really feral. We are connecting with each other in spiritual community. We're living together in tribe. We're trying our best to, I call it re-tribalize, which means like live the old way, like live the ancient way the best we can, live with each other in harmony, work together on resources, do what we can to get as much out of the system as possible. This has been the mission at Rainbow Family, and those are some of the closest soul people I know. Like, that's just the deepest like realness of the experience was so true to spirit and soul that for a while I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to living in a house. I couldn't go back to even setting foot. Like, I remember coming out of the rainbow gatherings and staying in a hotel one night, like raising the money for a hotel, and being like, what is this? Like, I couldn't be in lights, I couldn't cross streets. We went all the way into the woods. And I'm on the other side now, and I'm coming back out of the woods. There's a lot of ways in which doing that was hiding, and Spirit's asking me to be a bridge. She's asking me to come take our medicine, what she says, out of the woods into Babylon. And what we call Babylon it's not a judgment, but it's just like the toxic part of the system, like the system that is fully consumer driven and run by lusty sins and kind of just looks, feels, and acts toxic to anyone who is awake enough to see it. And the other ones are under a spell, basically, is what I see it as. Again, this isn't a judgment. It's just like, as light warriors, as people who have seen that side and are coming out the other way, it is our job to like raise the vibration of that cult, basically the cult of consumerism, the cult of dark magic, the cult of weird spells that don't resonate for people, the cult of running to money like it's your savior instead of looking for what your service is going to be. And again, I'm not saying money's bad. I'm not saying food distribution is bad. I'm not saying I don't go to the store myself and get an iced coffee. I'm saying that the system is broken. I think we can all clearly see that, and we need to create new systems. So as Medicine Family, as Rainbow Warriors, it is our duty to, or at least Spirit's telling me to do this. She told me to buy land in Southern California in the desert. Like, this is all, like, Mama Gaia is running the show here. I wake up and Mama tells me what's up. You know what I'm saying? I sit on the sand and Mama tells me what's going to be next. She told me to buy land and start a circus. And so that's what I'm doing. We call it the Ceremony Circus, and it's one of the branches on the larger vision. The vision including this land we have, turning into a retreat center, beginning a circus, which is basically what I call permissionary in nature. It's like what we do at our full moon ceremony, if you've ever been involved in that. What we do is we dance, we drum, we spin fire as a way to give people permission to freely express in their soul. To really, like, I'm just curious, how many people down at the grocery store who are acting small and being quiet And it's not true in every town. I'm not going to make a widespread assumption, because in my town out in Joshua Tree, like, people talk to each other. It's the desert. People feel lonely, so you go to the store and you chat with everybody. That's not common everywhere, though. Like, how many of you have been in the suburbs and just felt the draining sense of, like, disconnection between each other? That you go to the Starbucks and it's like your only time out of the house maybe that day, and you think, like, maybe I'll have a word of connection with the barista, but the only thing you have is like a hello, may I take your order, and you do the transaction and it's it. And it's like so like generic and sterile and impersonal, and like I'm sure many of you that are waking up right now have felt that vibe. Like, there's something off in the vibe. This isn't how we're meant to live. This isn't tribe. This isn't community. This is weird. Like, this doesn't feel right to our humanity, that way of being. So my mission is to raise that vibe. Like, my mission is to get people to express at the coffee shop, to be real and sovereign with each other. So yeah, my mission is to get people to be real and sovereign and honest with each other, to be desperately in love with their loved ones, to be rolling in the dirt and the mud if that's what they choose at ceremony. And if they want to be introverted and quiet, that's legit. I just want to make sure it's coming from authenticity. I don't want anyone who would express and who isn't, because fear, social anxiety, judgment of what others are going to say, just all the toxic spells that have kept us down. The toxic spell of celebrity, where that person is God, but you aren't. Like, these are the messages we're giving to people in our culture. And it's terrifying and heartbreaking, because what's true is that each of us needs to, or I don't say needs to, each of us is destined, and it's our birthright, to step into our authentic expression and be real in the soul, to each other, to our loved ones. Let's be as real as we can with our neighbors, our strangers. Let's be real with like, the concept of stranger always got to me. That doesn't exist in the tribe, in the ancient tribal society, the concept of stranger. Like, no, you know someone, they're your people. So the concept of stranger, like thinking that everyone outside of your little nuclear family, you, your partner, and your kids, is a stranger, like, that's bizarre. That feels really unnatural to me. That feels really untribal. Like, Terrence McKenna talked about the archaic revolution, and I would highly recommend going to those lectures, because it really just brings home, like, this is an unnatural state of affairs. We've normalized to it, so we almost don't see it. But yeah, competing with each other, thinking others are strangers, like, this is not, we want everyone to rise. At least my understanding of the New Earth paradigm is that everyone rises in their sovereignty. Every individual needs to be liberated into their highest gifts. That's how I see the New Earth flourishing. That's how we get out of the dominator model of Babylon and into the future that runs right, that saves the planet, that thrives, that goes to space. So I'm interested in how can we create emotionally safe spaces. I think it's a mixture of healing and permission. First, we need to heal the trauma, right? So that's what we do at our full moon ceremony. We get wild, we get ragey, we get feral, because that's where the healing takes place. That's where the power embodiment takes place. And people experience giant releases in those ceremonies. It's intense. Like, I ceremonied with my partner to get over, like, this really deep-seated CPTSD, to get, like, kind of over 50% to the other side, where I was actually starting to emerge into thriving. That was just last season. Like, we were at a campsite, and there was, it's always, like, crazy aligned. Like, there was just enough firewood for us to do the amount of ceremonies I needed. We ceremonied every night. And what a 2-person ceremony could look like is, first of all, there needs to be an incredible level of safety between the two beings. Like, they need to trust each other. And that was a long time coming for me with my sacred partner, honestly, through the trauma, like the lens of having a scary man, or, you know, whatever man I was with was going to trap and hurt me or make it, you know, this is some dark shit went down. So, like, trusting again was a challenge, but this person has been so there for me ceremonially that after a number of healings, you're like, okay, I can trust them. Like, they clearly have my best interest in mind and would love me to get to the other side. So yeah, we would notice that there was just enough firewood at this campsite for like the amount of ceremony we need to do. We would ceremony every single night, which is like 2 people and an intention in front of the fire. And you can take psychedelic medicine, or you could not, or you could use hape or some other ceremonial medicine, or it could be medicine free, and that's fine. In which case you use the music, you use drumming and singing or fire spinning or meditation. You use all of your tools around the fire with another being, and you bring out your crystals. You do all the preparation, intentional work in order to create the highest intention you can for that specific healing you want to see. So say, I'm going to get over my fear of dad coming in and hurting me, or dad saying something mean at a moment's notice, like this on edgeness I'm feeling in PTSD. I'm going to clear that one tonight. You set the intention, you do the medicine or not. You have a very clear container with your person that starts and ends. And you sit by the fire and allow what's going to come up to come up. And you use drumming, singing, purging, chanting, tapping, body work, touch or not touch, movement. You use all of your available tools to move that energy through when it arises. Because if you intend it, it will arise. So you make the intention, you wait for that energy to arise. A lot of times, especially if doing plant medicine, it's going to guide you back to the original trauma itself. And we'll go into this in more detail because I really want to lay out this roadmap for people. I'm really surprised, even among the spiritual community and the road warriors I've met who are well acquainted with psychedelics, but they're using it in a party mode or a festival mode, and there's really like much more limited than I thought knowledge about how shamanism truly works in the plant medicine healing realm. Like, you take the medicine, you set the intention, you let it bring it up, and you basically let the medicine guide you internally into a ceremonial state. Now, when that block comes up, or you feel that pressure, that release, or you're angry and you want to cry but you can't cry, that's the pivotal moment. That's where the shaman will step in and help activate that release. Whether it's through tapping a certain body part, using a wand or crystal in the right area, doing some a chiller medicine such as hape at that pivotal moment when the release wants to happen but it's kind of blocked. These are the tools of the shaman, using their drum and their rattle at that body part at that moment. That's how we get the release to happen. And that's something I'd like to go much deeper into an exploration of with you, just to really lay it out for people. I'm surprised that this information is ancient and it's been going on for thousands of years, and it's kind of intuitive for a lot of us, but a lot of us don't actually know what's up. Like, I have many friends who are like, yeah, I have trauma and it just is what it is. And I'm like, no, it's not what it is. Let's get it out. We need to get it out before it breaks your life, because that's what I know from firsthand experience. We need to get out the energy before it starts to down spiral your experience, because it will. It's just stuck in there. Like, dark energy does not go away on its own. That's an important point. It stays. We need to get it up and out by any means possible. Then you will see your life spiral upward all on its own. So this is like, I go into more detail in this on the article I'm releasing on the 14th. How to Heal Trauma, a very straightforward approach by Wolfpack. Because every meltdown can be a breakthrough, okay? Next time you have a panic attack or an anxiety meltdown, that's the point. That's the time to go in and get the breakthrough out. So that's what we're going to be exploring here in more depth. I really appreciate you for being involved in this. I appreciate you for listening. We'll leave it at that. I'm going to take a couple deep breaths if you want to take them with me. I'm currently feeling a little bit of a blockage anxiety in my sternum. I'm going to breathe into that. Oh, don't breathe into the mic. I'm going to breathe away from the mic over here. So a moment like this, a mini release I do is very simple, tapping on the blocked area. I really feel the anxiety in my sternum. I'm going to tap there and just breathe into it. Better already. Thank you for being with me. I love you so much. Thanks for being a part of my musical journey and my shamanic journey. Yeah, much more to come. I'm really excited about this channel. Please tell all your friends. They can join at the $1 level and access all this beautiful healing content, as well as endless stream of art. I have just a barrage of art coming your way on my hard drive that's about to be released twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm going to be throwing dope art at you, poems, unreleased tracks. We're just going to be getting the ball rolling, getting this stuff out of my system and giving it to you. So yeah, let everyone know at the $1 level that you can get the Legendarium, a massive portal of Wolfpack art designed to heal your soul. Okay, I love you so much. Have a gorgeous day.